Hi guys, welcome to this final session working on this pet portrait. So just going to be working on some final details, kind of working across the whole piece today. We're using the same palette as before, so all the materials are the same as the previous few sessions. So we'll mostly be painting with sort of a couple of small brushes, just using this big brush initially for the oil in stage, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then we're just going to be kind of going in and primarily focusing on kind of punching out some of the lights, deepening some of the darkest parts where necessary, and adding a little bit more detail here and there. So the first thing I'm going to do, using my medium, which is a slightly oilier mix than last week, I just want to wash over, oil in the whole piece. So I'm going to resaturate everywhere today. So we've oiled in the past few weeks, should be familiar with how it works, but basically we're just taking some of the medium that we're working with and washing that over the whole piece. What that's going to do is just resaturate all our colours so that we're sort of aware of exactly how dark they go, or they will go when it's varnished. So if we didn't do this, we might make some corrections, and then when we varnish it, things don't match quite as well as we would maybe hope that they should. The other thing, oiling in a little bit of oil kind of in this final sort of late stage of the piece, does is it gives us a little bit of a couch for blending if we want to do some sort of softer transitions. It can be useful from that point of view as well. But yeah, there we go, that's all oiled in, so I don't really need that big brush anymore. Swap to back to some smaller brushes now. And I'm just going to start with going in with pure black, a little bit of medium mixed in, so just taking purest black, and I just want to put that where I want the piece to go really dark. So this shadow in behind her snout, I want to push that a little bit darker, just to punch out, and then also some accents within the snout as well. I just want to make sure they're as dark as they need to be. Just a few subtler transitions there. That's not too bad, I think. Nice to also just get a little bit of a suggestion of the places where it's a little bit lighter from straight darker where those holes are. So also just emphasising some of the shadows a bit, just again with pure black. So a lot of what you can do at the end of the piece is actually just glazing with black. So a glaze like this, where you're putting a kind of, this is a layer of darker colour over slightly lighter, not enormously lighter, but slightly lighter colours. Will always shift a bit warm, which is often quite nice in shadows, so that's why it's working quite well. If anything goes wrong, you can just kind of wipe it back like we did, like if you kind of think back to the wash drawing stage, that first stage that we worked on. So a lot of this work, as you can see, is being done just with the black. It's helping a lot just to kind of punch out certain areas, and we'll be going in with some white as well. I'm inclined to go a little bit darker actually behind the snout on this side as well, just so we get a nice contrast for her face. Yes, that's working quite well. Yes, I'm fairly happy with a lot of these transitions now. A little bit more on this fur. We're coming to a point where I can probably wind it up, I think. So just a few more minutes. Just moving around the piece, details here and there, but a lot of it's just, as I say, that initial stage was just glazing. We've done that in other videos if you've watched through other things that we've got on here. That glazing stage is always quite important. So a little bit kind of just patching in extra details, some of it just glazing. And then I'm just going to pick up some pure white, pretty much pure white, a little bit of Cad yellow mixed in just to warm it. Just to go over the chest again, where we've got that white fur of hers. And up the neck as well. Just to really get that to glow nicely. little bit of a lighter touch over the top of the snout here as well, but then blend that into the surrounding tones also. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, and I think that's probably not a bad point to call it a day on this one. Yeah. So do a little bit of a zoom back so you can see the whole thing. Focus in on it as well. But yeah, that's a not too bad kind of level of detail. I'll zoom in a bit, kind of back in, and let you have a look how it looks closer up. I need to just bump my ISO up a bit there. So yeah, you can see sort of how the brushwork is functioning. Now I'll zoom back out. Go back to the slightly better size against the original. So yeah, that's it for this piece. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the lessons, and if you had a crack at it, I hope your piece went well. You can always comment below if you want to talk to me about anything to do with the videos. And you can subscribe to keep up to date with anything, all our new stuff as well, and interviews and so on from the channel. And you can also, if you're interested in our kind of qualifications and paid courses, you can click the link through to see what's on offer. But yeah, that's it for this this project and this week, and we'll be starting something new next week, and I'll see you guys then.